I loved this movie. I love this movie, man. I'm talking about The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. You know, DC's back. And this time, I think better than anything that they've ever done before, maybe besides... No, this is probably the best thing that they've done.
What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
Anyways, like I said, it's The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn, and his hands are all over this movie, man. It is terrifically crafted. You know it's James Gunn, too. This is a James Gunn film. I personally think he is the star of this movie, and like the cast list here is pretty top notch. You got Idris, you got John Cena, Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Joel Kinnaman, a few others, some fresh faces, some familiar faces that aren't in the movie too much, but they play their roles and they serve the story quite well. So this one is like a sequel slash reboot to the 2016 Suicide Squad by David Ayer. You know the one I'm talking about. I thought it was okay, but you know, I've got friends out there that be like, Mark, come on, man. Just admit it. And look, it's not great. It's not great, but it's far from the worst comic book movie. But no, this time around, I don't know if this movie could have worked if James Gunn wasn't behind the camera here. Like I said at the beginning, he's the star of this movie. Like, he's the one that makes this thing fucking work, dude. Like, the pacing is frenetic. It's all over the place, but it's not a mess. Like, it's like a controlled chaos, if that makes sense. But like, somehow he made all of this shit work, and all of the craziness, how goofy that it gets, down to how heartfelt that it gets, to how nasty and gory and violent that it is. All of that mixed in one pot, stirred correctly with the right amount of seasoning, and like I said, the chef behind it all, and James Gunn, he made it work, man. He just made it work, and I had such a blast watching this. It was a ride, dog. It like, you sit in from the jump, like from the opening scene, like, okay, this is the movie that we're going to be getting throughout this whole film. And it sticks to that. It doesn't try to be more than anything that it is. And like I said, it is quite a lot, but so that is one thing that I would probably take away from this. For some people, this might be overload here. Like, this might be just too much on the senses. There's a lot of killing in here, man. Like I am dead serious. I haven't seen this many kills in a movie in quite a long time. It's R-rated and then some. You know, there's tits. There's even a flash of some Wayne. But yeah, like the camaraderie with the characters, how some of the characters were written, like, it just worked, man. And it really felt like a Suicide Squad movie. It felt like, with the mission that these characters had to go on, it felt doable with the characters that we had. As for the last one, it was some kind of supernatural bitch doing the tango and shit, and it just didn't work. Like, it wasn't believable that these band of misfits and criminals and murderers would be able to take on something like this. Or so I thought, because in this one, I wouldn't say the main villain here, because there's multiple villains, but like the big bad that they fight, like I said, James Gunn made it work, because if you take a step back and you look at who they fighting, like, I'm not trying to spoil it here, but it's like, there ain't no way that these motherfuckers gonna be able to fight that. How? But some way, you know, it's written to where it's somewhat believable that this cast and crew was able to get that job done. The plot of this, it's actually quite simple on the outside. It's just like, once you get in, it's like, okay, it's gonna take a lot, like, to make work. But, you know, it's a Suicide Squad movie. It's these criminals that get a bomb implanted in their neck and they get orders to go and do this mission that, hey, if you die, you die. There ain't no repercussions for like the US or anything. You know, Viola Davis, who plays Amanda Waller, ruthless bitch. She is ruthless. She don't give a fuck, dog. She is about the bottom line. Get the job done. Any means motherfucking necessary. Any means necessary. And if you don't feel like doing it, I'll kill you, or I will do something to your family to force you to do this shit. She's ruthless, and she played it so well. So props to Viola for that. But yeah, so Amanda Waller sends the Suicide Squad, or Task Force X, whatever that you want to call them, off to this remote island. I'm not sure if it's like near Cuba or like South America, like Corporal Martiz or something. I'm no damn geologist, so I probably said that wrong. But it's some off-brand island, right? That's going through like a military coup. They're supposed to come in, help out the freedom fighters. Sorry, I was thinking about a scene with the freedom fighters. One of the best scenes in the movie, by the way. But no, yeah, they're supposed to come in, go to this one like military structure called like Jotunheim or something like that, and there's something in there that they need to take down before it like does this thing and expands like more so than it already has. You know, it's pretty simple. I'm like cutting around the edges here because I don't want to spoil too much, but that's the like the basic plot here. And you know, it's more about the characters. Yeah, it's cool and like what they're doing, like it's fun to watch them kill and fight shit and explosions, CGI, this, that, and the other thing. But it's more so just going on this mission with these characters, learning about these characters, how they interact with each other, this and that. That takes hold more so than the actual mission, which it works better that way. There's a lot of characters in here, like a lot. There's like two separate groups here at the start, and you know, slowly but surely it gets chopped down to like the main Suicide Squad for the movie here. But like the ones that James Gunn chose to be more highlighted over other characters, some of those you would have been like, really? This dude? For example, Polka Dot Man. Duh, this guy was cool. He was one of the best parts of the movie, man. Like, they made Polka Dot Man work. And that's the shit that I'm talking about. It's these obscure characters that James Gunn chose to utilize in this movie. Some that you would never thought that you would see. Some I've never even heard of. Yet, by the end of it, I'm walking out, was like, damn, I want to see more of that person, this person. Oh, I wish this didn't happen to that person, etc., etc. Stallone plays King Shark, or they call him by, like, Nawasu or something, but I call him motherfucking King Shark. There's a newcomer, I'm not sure her name. She plays something called Ratcatcher. Nigga, like, what the hell? Like, who are these people, right? But it works. Idris Elba plays Bloodsport. I love Will Smith, and I think Will Smith was one of the better parts of the first one. And Bloodsport here, like, it does feel like a replacement for Will Smith, but Idris Elba, I mean, he's a class act, dog. Like, and he's no different here. And his gear is really fucking cool, man. They do some neat things that we've seen in other movies. Like, it's like kind of like a nano tech suit, but like the weapons that he uses, he has a big gun. He can have pistols. He has this little slingshot thing. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's some twists and turns. Like I said, it's pretty heartfelt in some areas. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily work, but for the most part, those like scenes where they slow it down and it's more of character building, it's more of getting to understand who these people are. For the most part, that works. And like when you just have like it's coming from all angles, man. And like if this was in the hands of anybody else, like I said, like this is gonna be a complete shit show here. But yet somehow James Gunn was able to take all of this and make it work. It's like a dude going to the buffet, right? And he's starving. Motherfucker hungry as hell. And he's like, ooh, that looks good. I'm gonna get some of that. Ah, yes. Don't mind if I do. And keeps walking some milk and just I'm gonna add a little bit of this. Crab cakes and like shit like that. And then by the time that he gets back to the table, his plate is full with damn near everything there. And you looking at the motherfucker was like, you gonna be able to eat all that? James Gunn said, watch me eat all this. Burped at the ends, washed it down with some Sprite, man. It's not perfect, but like I'm really trying to think here, man. Like I really, really enjoyed this movie so much. There wasn't much here that like me personally that I didn't like. Maybe it was a little bit too long. You could have cut out a few scenes here or there. Some of the side villains could have been written better. They were more played for like jokes, laughs, or like for a certain sequence, right? But and then just overall, for some it might be overload, but for me this worked and then some. It's in my top 2 so far for best movie of the year, along with Quiet Place Part 2. And there's a good chance by the end of this year, this may be my #1 movie of the year, because right now we just ain't getting that many good movies, but we still have the fall and winter season, so that's to be decided later. But I digress with all that. I recommend seeing this. I recommend seeing this shit in theaters because you can watch it on HBO Max, which, hey, you can do that after you watch it in theaters. Just come back home and watch it again on HBO Max. It's all good. Because that's what I did. Anyways, man, I had such a good time here. DC finally has, like, I think a real hit critically and with the audiences too. I was looking at the box office. It's kind of unfortunate it didn't really do that well, but in the situation that we're in, you know, that's to be understood. But yeah, man, like, go out and see this shit. It was awesome. Arr, arr.